Everett Cole hadn't owned a phone in 11 years, and the week Sam met him, he closed a deal worth more than most folks make in a lifetime, using nothing but a payphone outside a diner and a leather notebook that had seen better decades. Sam couldn't get that out of his head. Not the money, the phone booth. In 2026, like the man had stepped clean out of another era and brought it with him on purpose. I'm Grandpa Ben, folks, and this here's the story of how Sam found out why. Sam was 28, ran a small marketing outfit out of a co-working space downtown, and lived the way most everybody his age lived. Phone in his hand more than in his pocket. 6 different apps buzzing at him before he'd even gotten out of bed. He was good at his job, sharp even, but he hadn't finished a single uninterrupted thought in longer than he could remember, and he'd stopped noticing that as a problem on account of everybody around him lived the exact same way. He met Everett through a mutual client, an old furniture business Everett had built up from a one-room workshop into something with real weight behind it, then quietly sold off years back and started using the money to back other people's ideas instead. Sam had heard the man was worth backing his own attention to and had gone looking to get some advice, maybe even some investment. What he hadn't expected was a 71-year-old man in flannel, sitting alone at a diner counter with a cup of black coffee, a leather notebook, and a folding knife he was using to clean under his thumbnail, not a screen anywhere in sight. "You don't carry a phone," Sam said, more statement than question. "Haven't in 11 years, Everett said, not looking up from the notebook. "Best business decision I ever made. And I've made a few good ones." Sam laughed, figured it was a bit. Everett didn't laugh back. Over the next hour, over pie Sam didn't order but got anyway because Everett insisted the old man told him plain it wasn't a stunt and it wasn't nostalgia. He'd owned a phone once, same as everybody, and by his own account had been sharp and successful and also, his words, reachable to death. Every decision he made got made a little worse than it should have, because it got made in the 15 seconds between one notification and the next, never with his whole mind actually in the room. The real turn, Everett said, came the year he almost lost the business, not to competition, but to a decision he made half distracted, answering 3 emails during a supplier call, and signing off on numbers he'd have caught cold sober with his full attention on them. Cost him near everything he'd built to that point to unwind that mistake. He put the phone in a drawer that same week, meaning to take a short break from it. He never took it back out. What he took up instead was the notebook. Every real decision, written out longhand, worked through slow, no ping pulling him sideways halfway through a thought. And the knife wasn't decoration either. Everett said whittling something small with his hands while he turned a hard decision over in his head did more for his thinking than any app ever had. Said the folks calling him old-fashioned were usually the same ones checking their phone 3 times during the conversation where they said it. Sam figured this was a nice story about an eccentric old man, filed it away, and went back to his life, right up until 3 weeks later, sitting across the table from a client he'd been chasing for months. His phone buzzed mid-pitch with a message from an entirely different client, and Sam, out of 11 years of pure habit, glanced down at it. Half a second. That's all it was. But the client noticed, and more than that, Sam lost the thread of his own pitch. The good part. The part he'd rehearsed. The part that actually would have closed it. He fumbled the recovery and watched the deal go lukewarm in front of him, and knew exactly why. That night, he called Everett from a real landline, since the man still had one at his house, oddly enough, just no cell, and asked him straight out how a person even starts doing what Everett did. Because going phone-less entirely felt like it cost him his whole business overnight, Everett told him he didn't need to throw the thing in a lake. Said most folks who try to quit cold turkey end up back on it worse than before, same as any habit. Told him to start smaller, 1 hour a day, phone in a drawer, notebook out instead, and see what actually got decided in that hour that hadn't been getting decided in the other 23. Told him the goal wasn't the phone. The phone was just the leash. The goal was learning what his own attention felt like when nobody else had a hand on it. Sam tried it. Badly, at first, kept reaching for a pocket that had nothing in it, feeling half naked without the buzz. But within a couple weeks, that 1 hour a day became the hour he did his actual thinking, and every other hour became noticeably worse by comparison, which told him something all on its own. He never went as far as Everett. Still carries a phone, still checks it plenty. But these days, when a real decision's on the table, a hire, a contract, anything with real weight to it, Sam closes the laptop, puts the phone in the other room, and works it through on paper first, the way the old man taught him. Says it's the only reason he caught 2 mistakes last year that would have cost him dear. The same kind of mistake that near cost Everett everything, 20 years and 1 drawer ago. Last month, Sam finally asked Everett why he still doesn't just get a phone back, now that he trusts himself more. Everett just shrugged and said, "Man who spent 11 years enjoying his own company doesn't go looking to interrupt it." Now folks, I ain't telling you to throw your phone in the river. Truth is, most of us couldn't run our lives without one, and that's alright. But maybe there's an hour in your day, just one, where the notebook comes out and the phone goes in a drawer, and you find out what your own thinking sounds like without somebody else's finger on the buzzer. Tell me down in the comments, what's the 1 hour you'd give yourself, if you had it fully to yourself? And if this one found you at the right moment, stick around folks, I've got more stories like it every week.